People rush off to meaningless jobs day after day. You see them coughing in the subways at dawn. They squander their souls on things like rent, decent clothes, gas and electricity, insurance, behaving like peasants who've just come out of the fields and are so dreadful tickled because they can buy baubles and doodads in stores.
500,000 homes sprang up around the country in 1946. Nearly 1 million in 1947. 1 million in 1948. Still more in 1949, 1950. Suburbia was born.
We have become the first suburban people in the history of our species on the planet.
It's a cartoon of country living and a cartoon of a house. You just get a lawn, which is an industrial-produced artifact. So it has none of the amenities of country life, and it has none of the amenities of the town. And in fact, it has all the disadvantages of both. All you really have is a 6-lane highway.
This is a chapter in the epic of America called Arizona, the land of sunshine and blue sky. She wears her adjectives well. The Arizona story is the story of people, yesterday and today.
You're listening to KBUX Radio, 94.3 FM, the heartbeat of Quartzsite.
These are the peaks and ridges of a mountain range in Arizona which roughly forms a 360-degree circle. Now, the area within this circle of volcanic rock is known as the Valley of the Sun. And in the heart of this valley, the vacationer will find one of the most attractive and fastest-growing cities in America.
Everybody has a story that brought them here. We all moved in with no real plans. We just wanted our little piece of the American dream. As work started to dry up, more folks headed out to join us. 5 years I've been in the community. I got up off my ass and decided to be somebody. I had a little bit of a vision, I guess. I became a kind of leader in the town because I saw something to invest in and build on. Some folks thought I was presumptive. You can't really have any authority. Once you do, you lose everything you were there for. Back in those early days, we didn't have readily available plug-in power. We didn't even have water unless you hauled it. We came to think of ourselves as the new pioneers. I remember back one September morning hauling the first cast walls out of the ground. Me and Steve had been hunched over, carving into the dirt for days. It was exciting. There were millions of unknowns. We left it there for a week or more, making sure it all set. When it turned out, it was pretty rough around the edges, but it worked. As things got crammed in the early camp, we eventually all gathered round the fire one night and figured out a new city plan. It was 2032, April 4th, before we put the manifesto to paper. Most folks knew the deal, but it was a big day seeing it emblazoned across the camp. It signified everything America started out to be. Our city will become an emblem of human individuality, celebrating the value of variations, flaws, and irregularities in our handiwork. The more time we spent here, the better we got at building. Homes became radical as the community skilled up. We recognized in those early years the mistakes we'd made and what the new city needed to provide. We all needed space, but we also needed one another. When we made the decision to keep all the cars and rigs on the outside, we realized we needed something for folks to get around on. We eventually managed to get a bunch of shared carts, some Segways, plenty of bikes, and as we kept growing, even a crazy underground transit system to ferry people around. We soon recognized there was a problem, a paradox even. telling people they'd be free here, but giving them a set of guidelines to live by. Nobody owned anything here. It was all of ours, and we all shared in its successes and its failures. I guess what we learned is that really all we have is precarious and transient. Everything will go dry and crumble to ruin. The restless will move on as they always have. All that remains are geology and the primordial forces of weather, wind, and sun. It must have been Thoreau who wrote, "If you've built castles in the air, your work may not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them."